So I want to keep these classics coming a little bit, and this one is maybe a little bit more debatable. That's why I'm going to give you two examples real quick. Is kind of like the old school hip hop boom bap beat. Um, when I think of an old school hip hop beat, this is kind of what I'm always drawn to. Maybe this one goes as an open hi-hat. You know, the old Run DMC, Aerosmith, Walk This Way. Here's the beat that I'm going to actually work with for most of this video. All right, so you can take a look at that, pause it, get it into your session. All right, so we have 2/16 notes on the kick drum to start us off. We have a small 30-second note roll here, so you'll need to change your grid. Those of you who are in Pro Tools first will have to change your grid elsewhere. You know, you're looking down here. Change your grid to 30-second notes in order to get, actually, are those 64ths? I'm getting confused a little bit with Pro Tools first and Pro Tools. 30-second notes. Okay, everything else is 16ths. Pause it, get it in. Okay, so for now, the idea with this small series, besides the drum beat itself, is I want to try and talk about humanizing your drum beats in a couple of different ways. And first, we're going to start with velocity. And we've done this with velocity before, but I want to do it again because I'm not sure that we are using it. And I just want to make sure that we kind of explore all possibilities. So all I've done here is duplicate this track because I want to make the point and compare. All the velocities are flat. This has been drawn in. So remember that they are drawn in kind of at 0, but it's really not 0. Your highest level is 127. Why it said 47 there, I don't know. But 127 is your max velocity. What I want to do is I like to do this more in the MIDI editor window so that I can see and highlight what instruments or what sounds I want to adjust. So first thing is I want my main snare hits. So I'm holding shift down and I'm able to choose the specific ones that I want to be pretty hot. This one, not as much actually, okay? And a reminder that as you play with velocity, what you're also seeing is shades of this dark blue kind of thing. So the darker, the harder the hit, the higher the velocity. I'm going to go ahead and bring all of my kicks up to about plus 37, which doesn't make any sense. I don't really understand what it's demonstrating here. 115. Seems like you need to let go. Okay, but on these double kick hits, I'm going to bring, so I'm going to do this again by holding shift down. I'm going to bring these down a bit. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Let's even do that a little bit more. Drummers, when they're kind of setting up their single foot to do a double kick like that on the pedal, that first one tends to be a little lighter because they're doing this kind of real quick ricochet in order to get that second hit. So tends to be kind of the heavier lead foot section. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one at the same as the others. Now, this little roll here, I want to kind of also adjust where one is a bit higher than the other as it rolls into the kick. Okay, and finally, I'm going to highlight every other hi-hat and bring those, actually, let's do this. Let's bring them all up a little bit. Then I'm going to deselect the 2nd, 4th, 6th, and 8th, and let those be a little bit quieter, as I believe a drummer would hit that first accent, that first downbeat, accented a bit harder. Okay, so I'm satisfied for the sake of the demonstration that now I have a much more dynamic use of velocity to give this a more humanistic feel. All right, and let's listen to the original. And although you might just say it's louder, it is actually much more than that. In fact, let's do this. Let's try and match the overall volume. Let's listen to the first one without any velocity dynamics. And the more dynamic. If you concentrate and listen on the hi-hat, you can really hear the difference, I think. So this is very important, in my opinion. And we're going to leave it at that we have a basic kind of boom bap drum beat that we have created some dynamics through using velocity.